Welcome to the world of climate realism, where we expose the climate panic and bring you the science that will convince you with facts and reason and evidence there is nothing to be feared because there will be no climate apocalypse. The topic which I'm going to address today is: what is the motivation behind climate socialism? Is it truly a benevolent attempt to save the world? Or is it an excusable misunderstanding of differing opinions in science? Or is it an evil narrative designed to keep us dependent on a small, powerful elite of energy providers? Climate activists did not rise out of a genuine crisis. Before climate activists embraced their mission, they were deliberately starved of all that is meaningful, of every kind of perspective and orientation in life. And this lack of a meaningful goal to pursue with their whole identity, that grew even bigger throughout this equally fear-orchestrated phantom pandemic which we find ourselves in right now. And that's why they are so resentful towards our skeptics. Because we expose a profound discomfort within themselves. Skepticism rips off an emotional band-aid that covers a wound and forces you to self-reflect. Meaninglessness and the circus of fake social media every single day created a vacuum, an emotional vacuum. And everybody wants to prove their virtue. But how? Here's an idea. Become a climate activist. Save the world. But what does that even mean? I don't know, but I don't care. Because if the experts say that this is a meaningful goal and this is something that is very important, then surely if I become a climate activist, that must mean that I'm important. So I'm not even going to question it or educate myself on the science behind it, because I accept my role as just an activist. But activism used to be something that is actually supposed to be meaningful, and that means understanding what you are fighting for. If you don't know the science, the studies, everything that is tied to what you are promoting in public, that's not noble activism. That is a lie that you are living to prove your own virtue. And that's how they trap the ambitious youth who want to leave their signature on the world with lies. The very essence of humanity is that we always strive for more. Recently, I picked up one of my favorite pieces of literature again, Goethe's Faust. And while this is not going to be a literature education session, I am going to share an analogy with you that I developed as I read the lines. Because I think that this play and its philosophical implications capture the spirit, the intrinsic motivation of man to pursue truth like no other, and also the struggles that come with that pursuit of truth. So, Faust is a professor, a doctor, the most well-educated man on earth, and yet he has reached the point where he does not know how to continue and why. Because he has read and explored all earthly things, and he still feels unfulfilled. So what is there to explore now? How can he still find a greater truth? He seeks more meaning beyond that which is on earth and surrounds him. And so wherever it may present itself, he will try to find meaning. And that might mean even abandoning his morals. And so the devil decides to make a bet with God. He says that he will prove to Faust that there is no meaning in human life after all, and that he can lead him to a life of meaningless self-indulgence with no morals. God is confident, however, that Faust's good character will prevail no matter what, and that his ambition will win in the end. And so the devil visits Faust to throw him off his path to that which is good and meaningful, because the devil denies all meaning. Mephisto craves destruction, and mocks creation. Humankind, he says, is doomed and forever tied to its hedonistic greed and suffering. And so he makes a bet with Faust and says that he will only ever experience true joy if he follows the path of hedonism. And Faust agrees to this bet and says, okay, do whatever you want with me. Give me the life of hedonism and we will find out if it makes me happy, and if it does, then you can get my soul. To complete the analogy, let's have a look at climate activists who are now once again protesting and philosophizing about the worthlessness of the parasite that is humankind. They say that we ought to eliminate that which makes us great, progress. They say that we are supposed to abandon our passionate creation of innovative ways to operate on this planet for a better, healthier, and flourishing society for all of us. They say that humanity is not worth our own ambition. They dissect our attempts to pursue truth by censoring us skeptics. And our thoughts are untouchable, yes, but thoughts can only be refined once they are shared with the whole group of humanity, with society. That's the true pursuit of truth. It only starts when we can engage with each other. We create a huge puzzle of ideas, and they throw black paint at the individual pieces. Climate activists are not the devil. However, they do represent that which the devil mistakenly sees in us, because they have been led astray by the satanic fear-mongering from self-proclaimed human elites. They are kept confined in a cage of social media hedonism, meaningless misinformation, photoshopped reality, and biased sophistry take up their worldview. So I translated a quote from Mephisto as he introduces himself to Dr. Faust, which I will share with you. I am a part of the force that always craves evil and always creates good. I am the ghost that always denies, and rightfully so, because everything that is created is worth decaying. Therefore, it would be better if nothing ever came into existence in the first place. Thus, everything you call sin, destruction, simply put evil, is my true element. The humble truth is what I'm telling you. Mankind, though it's but a world of small fools, perceives itself as whole. And therein you can hear his contempt for humanity's ambition. Mephisto does not believe that any good can come from humanity. He continues, I am part of the part that once was everything, part of the darkness from which light was born, the proud light that now invades the space, the old rank that once belonged to Mother Night. So he says that darkness was there first, and then the light God invaded the darkness. And yet the light does not succeed, because no matter how hard it tries, it always stays stuck to bodies. It flows from bodies, which it beautifies. The body blocks its way. And so I hope that it won't take long, and the light will die with all the bodies. The light that guides us on our path and that flows through our bodies is our intrinsic motivation to strive for truth and our hope. It is our will to keep educating ourselves, to explore science, but also to be kind-hearted individuals, friends, and lovers, and to socialize with each other. And thus, Faust's dilemma confronts us with the question, is truth worth striving for with good intentions, despite all the hurdles that we may face? Or is it just a meaningless attempt because everything is doomed to decay anyway? No, Mephisto is wrong, and even God knew that from the very beginning when he said to the devil, as long as man strives, he errs. And what he means by that is that our path may not always be linear and virtuous. But as long as we keep striving, we will get back on track eventually. And the climate activists are not evil. They are not doomed to fail in their own pursuit of truth and meaning and purpose in life. They are not lost. They have been indoctrinated to believe that instant gratification is to be preferred over education and that it is more pleasurable than eager learning and striving for truth and honesty. And what was Mephisto's first line of introduction? I repeat, I am a part of the force that always craves evil and always creates good. The devil knows deep down that his attempts to deceive and mislead Faust, and thus humanity, are always doomed to fail, because he can throw a challenge at us. However, he cannot corrupt us, because his challenge makes us stronger. It helps us grow. It helps us identify mistakes and then get back on track and find hope again. He inadvertently creates good. And that is why I say, don't be distraught over the puppet show of climate socialists, because they are miserable right now. And they will never find true meaning in virtue signaling. The day will come when science and truth excites them more than performative wokeness. And until then, we, climate realists, we spread that message and make uncensored scientific debate popular again. Because once a person encounters truth, there is no going back. Lies only work as long as people believe in them. And so we can crash the system by exposing them one lie at a time. Once they are debunked and nobody believes in them anymore, the lies die. So it is time to pull back the curtain and dissect the narrative of fear and terror within climate socialism. Panic persists until we resist. Thank you so much for listening.